It's another day, and we're back. Y'all been waiting for this. Y'all been texting about this. This day belongs to the PanRaconTeurs. I am your host, Mike. I got Nate, our sound engineer, and we're ready to rock. We have a lot of explaining to do in this episode, but we are the PanRaconTeurs. Woo!
Doing this live there.
Yeah, we're doing this live. Hello to everybody, friends and family, to all the strangers that are watching this. We know you're watching. We know you're listening. And we hear you sneaking around and being mischievous. But we are the PanRaconTeurs. My name is Mike Vasquez. I am the host of this show. And we got Nady B.
Nady B.
We have a crazy show for you today because there's only two of us. Dan the man, Mr. Moneybags, Mr. Executive Producer, may or may not join us on this episode. We'll see where it goes. Got a lot of good feedback from the last episode. John Medina, shout out to you for commenting. I'll have a special prize for you for commenting. I got something in my house that I can give you. And another shout out goes out to Danny Valdez because he got upset that I only shouted out his brother. So shout out to you. But if you're a true listener, you would have heard in episode 2, I shouted you out way back.
Oh.
So, yeah. Gordo, shout out to Jonathan and Danny, all those that gave some feedback and some love. Our first listeners. You're gonna this one.
Now that we're big on YouTube, 50 views.
Hey,
now you want a shout out?
Now you want a shout out, Danny. Well, now you got it.
Now you got
all right.
it. We're calling
now
you
we're
out.
on the radar. We're on the radar of. Wait, Nate. I'm getting something. It's breaking news. Oh my gosh, it's just coming in. Guys, ladies, and gentlemen, buckle up. This is going to stir up your day, your life. And this episode will probably come out on Wednesday, so it's going to be really old compared to what I'm talking about right now. That's right. We're coming back to another day in which we lose an hour of sleep. I think that's everybody's consensus right now. And you know what? There's some weirdos out there that are going, yay! Woo! Daylight savings. And the real people are going, I'm losing an hour.
I mean, what's going on with this? How's there not been a law yet where we could just have normal days, all just regulated?
It's funny that you say that. I was watching a news briefing with President Trump, and he says it's a 50-50. 50% of the country likes daylight savings, and 50% of the country doesn't like daylight savings. So it could go either way.
Who's the other 50?
I don't know. It's people are weird.
Debate down in the comments. Let us know. Are you for daylight savings or are you against daylight savings?
Put it in the comments. We want your comments. We want your thoughts on this and then we want to know who we need to remove off of our subscription list. Or add. But that's breaking news, everybody. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. But it'll be Wednesday by the time this comes out.
There is some evidence that daylight savings can increase the risk of heart attacks. This is likely due to the disruption of your circadian rhythm. A Michigan study found a 24% increase in heart attacks on the Monday after spring switch. So this coming Monday, when you're getting up early in the morning, blame all those other people that want daylight savings.
Yeah, blame them. You know why that happens is you wake up and you're like, oh, I got to go to work. I'm late. And then you show up early and you're just standing there like a dummy and you showed up an hour early because of daylight savings time. Well, actually, no, it's opposite.
Yeah, I was so confused. You're an hour late.
I'm an hour late. That's why they have a heart attack. That's why they die.
Yes.
Because they show up late. And good thing I just caught myself because I was going to show up an hour late.
Oh man.
I got church tomorrow. I'm going to be late to church.
Yeah.
We're still waking up. We've been up for a while. We were waiting for Dan, the money bags, the executive producer, to join us this morning. We were blowing up his phone. I had my mom go and knock on his door
Yeah.
to get him up out of bed, but I was showing Nate like I got baked what I've been eating and drinking for the past 3 hours as we prepped up for this episode. Baked chips. Can't say the title of the. And then I have a juice. I got a juice, and I blame this all on Dan. I blame it all on him.
He's
And
really daylight savings time and Uncle Dan. He's really trying to tear down this podcast. He saw that 50 viewer mark and he was just like, "Nope, I can't
That's
let this
too much.
stand. Can't let this
That's
stand."
too much.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, thanks for the views. We really do appreciate it. But let's go into the topic today: stories of the pest control walk and life and everyday battle. I don't know, Nate. You want to start?
I don't even know what story to start with, really. I mean, what's your first story that you're thinking of?
Oh, I got them locked and loaded. Like I got so many years in this industry, and I'm still in the industry. But one that just jumps to my brain right now, and I think I wake up in nightmares about it, is that when I was first starting out, they literally just said, "Here's a brush, here's a backpack sprayer, and here's some granules," and you put them in a bucket in the back of your truck, and they're like, "Go forward, go into that customers and be confident, and the confidence will be what seals the deal." I'm being confident, It's like, oh, I watched some videos on what to do. My manager took us to his house. It's like one day of training. He took us to his house, and he's like, "This is how you do it."
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, I was at a customer's house, and it's the first customer I ever serviced. And I'm looking at this home. I'm like, "Whoa, I'm gonna do this. I'm doing this on my own." And the customer threw a curveball at me. He's like, I said, "Hey, I'm here to do the general service. I'm going to knock down the spider webs. I'm going to treat around your home, put a barrier around your house to keep bugs from crawling in and stuff like that." And I said it very confidently. And he goes, "But I got something inside my house. Do you guys do rats?" And I go, "Sure." So I'm thinking, and all the videos that I've watched and the semi training that I got, I thought he was just going to open up his garage and I was going to check his garage. But there's a pull down ladder. So as he opens the garage, I'm a big dude, guys. Like, no joke. You kind of know where this is going. He opens up the garage. I'm extra confident. I start grabbing snap traps out of the back of my car. I have a jar of peanut butter hanging on the side of my pants in my pocket because I had nowhere else to put it. And I see him pulling the ladder down, and it was like a rickety ladder. I'm like, this is not going to end well. But be confident because this is the first stop. You could do this. And so he pulls down this ladder. It's shaky. It's dangling from the roof, the ceiling. It looks like it's just hanging there. So my full weight is going to be on this ladder, and it's going to be pulling on the ceiling as well. So I'm like, just holding my breath, trying to suck it in, just sucking my belly a little bit to feel like I could do this. I'm a little bit lighter. I stick my head up. I climb up. I get to the very entrance of the attic or the crawl space up there, and I have like a little headlamp. I put my headlamp on, and I start looking around. Something smashes into my face. Like, if I felt like someone punched me, but it was something furry. It was black. It made a weird like sound, but it was quick. It like ran at my face and I fell down the ladder. The peanut butter's in my pocket. I got snap traps like clipped onto my work shirt, because I try to carry as many as I could, and I just come crashing down on this hard cement, and I smashed the peanut butter. Peanut butter splashed all over this customer. It splashed on his car inside the garage. It splashed on the wall,
Oh man.
and the whole right side in my armpit going up was just caked in peanut butter. So it looked like I was bleeding peanut butter out of my armpit, and it just splattered everywhere. I come crashing down, peanut butter splattered everywhere, and I'm slowly getting up. The guy's trying to help me up. He's laughing, and I guess a neighbor's cat ran in sometime like during the day before, and he had opened it up because he was hearing stuff, and the cat got up in there somehow and was stuck, and the customer called us to come on and check it, because he asked me to check it when I got there, and this cat ran full speed into my face. My headlamp went flying in one direction, but that's not the funny part. He helps me up, and there's a pattern on the floor of his garage in my silhouette. Peanut butter. My pants are caked in it, and it's the very first house I went to that day, and I had 16 more houses to go to.
At least you got a spare change of clothes in the truck, right? I mean, that's
Oh yeah, that's standard. You got to have
for us. Yeah.
But I walked away not so confident after that. I walked in like I knew I was, the head honcho. I got this, and I was walking out of the house covered in peanut butter.
When you open an attic and something runs at you, your confidence goes down the drain, no matter what you're doing.
There's no walking away from that any other way. I luckily I wasn't too far away from a Walmart. I changed in the Walmart bathroom. Yeah, that's hard nowadays to find that work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that I'm lacking at the place I'm at right now. It's just I don't have that. Like I get home, I have like 2 hours. I spend like an hour to eat, and then off to bed.
Yeah.
It's like, let's take a little break right now. Let's go into our first commercial. I hope you guys like these commercials. It takes me 5 minutes, a whole 5 minutes to write these up. So hit it, Nate. Are you looking for a new career? Looking to take your skills to the next level? You want to make a difference in your community? Well, your journey starts here at Johnny's Pest Eliminators. We are hiring all and any special operations technical operators out in the field. Johnny's Pest Eliminators, we take pest control to a whole new level. Not only do we eliminate bugs from homes, but we will also set up forward operating bases in each customer's house, eliminating everything from burglars, rioters, and the occasional weirdo that just comes into your home. Also, we cover unwanted friends that no longer talk to you. We are Johnny's Pest Eliminators. Join us today. Back to the show. Love that company.
Oh, definitely. Co-founders.
They have a work-life balance like no other.
They take life balance.
They take lives.
I guess.
Why are they putting a forward operating base in my house? I guess it's normal.
You got to get rid of these pests. Any and all pests.
Hey, you know what? I think a lot of our customers that kind of give us a hard time, it's like they want that company because they will live in their home and just eliminate everything. We need you to come out because my neighbor is doing this. Oh, man, we're a pest control company. Yeah, but isn't that what you guys do? I'm paying a lot of money for you guys to come out. Yeah, but ma'am, we don't service your neighbor. No, I want you to take my neighbor out. And it was like,
Beep, beep.
we're a pest control. Yeah, like,
Yeah, you can never with setting the standard for no matter what job you're in is critical. Because I remember in pest control, there's this one story I remember that I probably shouldn't have done it, but I was just doing it because I was trying to help people.
oh no, we're
Um,
gonna have to bleep this out.
no, no, I mean it's about me taking a rat out of like a socket.
Oh, good. I thought it was nudity. That nudity was going to be involved. Okay,
Nudity.
Go ahead.
That was a daily thing. I was out there. You know, you want to scare the pests, you gotta get butt naked out there.
No,
Get in the mud.
no.
Get it dirty.
It's like the in what is that? The Predator. They covered themselves in mud to hide from the predator.
Yeah.
So you're rolling around in the customer's lawn and you're ruining it, and they just watered it and you're just covered in mud.
If you want to be a real good pest control technician, you got to get down and dirty. And to really be, you know, the predator towards these pests, they can't see you. You got to get mucked up, man. You got to get all dirty.
Yeah, we're going to lose customers that way. No. But hey, we eliminate it. We eliminate their pest problems.
You lose one
and
customer,
probably their neighbors.
You gain a few more. Okay, we're going for a different niche.
Yeah,
just happens that that niche is people that like butt naked pest control technicians that roll around in the mud. I don't think we're
all right. We're going. All right, there's a rat in a socket. Go ahead, Nate.
Okay, I go into Discovery Bay. There's a lady complaining about a rat in the wall. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll help you. I mean, I'll put a rat trap down and then we'll come back and check it later. It's like, no, I had this guy do an odd job and now he can't get the rat trap out. I'm like, what? Okay, I mean, it can't be that hard to get. It's making a lot of noise in the ceiling. And I'm like, okay, I could put a rat trap in the attic, and once the rat gets caught in that trap, then I'll pick it up. But it's like, no, we already caught it. I'm like, what? Yeah, we caught it, but it's still alive. Again.
No.
So I'm like, okay, what's the problem? The problem is where it is. We just need somebody to help us out, please. I go and talk to him like, man, you're not supposed to put, you know, I'm kind of like, seriously, dude?
Right.
Seriously?
Yeah.
All right, show me where this is. So I go to the kitchen, and he pulls out, you know, like there's like a hole where like they're still trying to install an electric light socket. You know, like they haven't done it yet, but they're in the workings of doing it. That they're like, again, they're doing odd jobs. I don't know if they're actual electricians and know how to properly do that, but they're in the process of doing that. So there's like a hole in the ceiling. This lady's freaking out on us, and it's not good for us. It's not good for you, man. Come on, just help me out real quick. I'm like, you know, the lady, you know, is an older lady, and she's freaking out. She's like panicking. She's like, there's a rat. And like just
she's hyperventilating, just watching you guys.
She's sitting on the couch like, please, you better get that rat out today.
Oh wow.
She's panicking, you know, like because she's hearing it scurry around, and the fact that she knows there's a rat in her house, she's like, you know,
she's ready to pass out.
She's ready to pass out. I'm looking at the hole, and then I need like a mirror. I'm like, I can't think. I don't have a mirror. I don't get a company issued mirror. So I got my phone out. I put on like selfie mode and I look I'm like, where is this rat? I can't. Okay, I got to put it in the other side and turn on the light. So I turn on the light and I'm doing a 360, taking a look around like a submarine. And I see a tail. If I put my hand in and I grab it, I can pull it out. That type of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm like,
just reach in.
Yeah, just reach in type thing. It's squirming around.
Its head's like crushed. Yeah. Oh, geez.
So I'm not pull it out, but I pull my phone out and I tell him like, because I didn't even know if it was the head first. I thought like it could be the leg, could be something. It's like,
if you're squirmish and you're hearing about this, I guess you could turn down the volume for the next 5 seconds while he tells his part.
Well, yeah, I'm finished with my submarine scope, and I tell the guys like, listen, if that rat's head is outside that trap, but if it's not, I'm not taking it out. I made a fine rule there. I was like, if it bites me, this is your problem. Like I'm not having it bite me. That's the main thing. But I did another like a check. It's like, yeah, both legs are out. The head's inside the trap. It's just squirming around. It's moving around. I'm like, okay, I got to get this before it starts moving deeper into the ceiling. So I gloved up. I was like, oh gosh, I double gloved up. We had these big blue dish sink nitrile gloves. I'm like, all right,
Yep.
let's get this done. All right, buddy, you're gonna help me. You're not really gonna help me. You're gonna get the bag and you're gonna put it on my ladder so I could just drop it in there. All right. I don't want you to get anywhere near that after it. I don't want you to get anywhere near me after that. All right. So he wraps like a plastic bag on my ladder, so I'm ready to just throw it in there. I'm like, all right, thank you. So I get in there, I put my hand in, and it, at first I thought it's been there for a while. So I'm thinking like, all right, it's moving a little bit. Maybe it's not like it doesn't have the death flow, like where it's like got a bunch of energy to move around. I thought it's been there for like at least a day or two. I grab a handful of the rat's butt, just grip, and all of a sudden it's squirming like, ah! So I'm like, I freak out a little bit because I'm not gonna try to grab a rat, but I'm like, I have like a little high pitch. Like, and they're like, what was that? And I was like, nothing. It was the rat. So I finally, I kind of jimmy it out and I pull it out. Like, thank goodness the rat's head is still in there. He's trapped. So I'm like, oh, okay, but it's still moving. So I throw it in the bag. I wrap it up. I get another bag. I double bag it. And then I just walk outside. I'm so focused on leaving, I didn't notice that the guy is not, next to the ladder anymore. He's actually with the lady, and the lady's like passed out on the couch. I had to be an executioner that day.
Yeah. It's probably one of the hardest things to do, and it's not for the faint of heart, especially us that were in pest control. And I always get calls from guys that are, because I manage an office right now of techs, and I'll get a call or a text going, "Hey, I had to dispatch one," and it's like they come in kind of heartbroken too, because I love animals, and I know they're pests, and whenever I can, I catch and release, and I try to take it far, far away. But some days, especially if it's suffering or anything, you gotta just do it.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta.
Still sucks.
Well, it's part of the job, definitely.
Yeah. I remember same thing. I went into a customer's house, and this lady was like, "Hey, I'm hearing knocking on my wall near my bed in my room," and I said, "Okay, I'll check it out." She had scooted her bed away from the wall, and there's a giant hole. I could put my fist in it. That's how big the hole was. And I got a big old fist. And it's right near. There's one at the bottom, but there's one that's just above where the electrical socket was.
Mm-hmm.
It was just not a. So there's 2 fist-size holes in this wall, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm hearing something." And so I go, "Yeah, well, you got 2 giant holes. It looks like it might be a rodent, chewing through your walls. I can put a trap out to catch it, and if you do catch it, just call us back. We'll come pick it up. Whatever, the general, or if you feel comfortable, throw it away yourself." Of course, they don't do that. They wait for us to come back and dispose of whatever we catch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I set up a trap. I'm talking to her. We're in the living room, and we hear the trap go up. Pop! And she goes, "Oh, what is that?" Then we hear,
"Oh,
play that noise. Play that noise. We got to use it today." Yeah, it's squirming around. It's just moving around. We hear the trap. It's scraping against the floor, and this rat is caught in this trap. caught him by his butt. I don't
Oh.
know how, but he's running and he starts booking it toward the lady. And the lady turns around. She runs out of the house and she trips and she falls,
Oh.
like eats it hard. And this rat is like running. and it caught me by surprise. I jumped out of the way. And I let it happen. I let it come by. I was like a bull matador. I got out of the way.
Yeah.
And this rat is just scurrying toward this poor lady. She's on the ground on her front steps. Her legs are up in the air. She's like at a pretty bad angle.
Uh-huh.
Like a couple of neighbors were waiting outside because they saw me. And they were going to ask me questions about pest control, but she comes running out of her house. She eats it on the floor. This rat kind of jumps on her and then jumps off of her and starts running down the street. And the neighbors are just like, they're like, whoa, what was that? And she's like, Again, I'm the pest control guy. I jumped out of the way and said, go, be free, live, fly, short story, story short, she didn't have a rat problem after that.
She had a back
that thing
problem.
ran for its life.
She got a head problem.
She got something, but the neighbors helped her up. We all laughed about it. It was just so quick. But I put that trap down. I put some bait on it, and seconds later, you just hear that pop. Oh. And it's like, oh, got him.
Yeah. Like,
but you never think, okay, this thing's gonna squirm around. Yeah. It's gonna run around and this thing just like it leaped and landed on her while she was on the floor and then jumped off of her.
Man.
Shout out to that lady. Yeah. If you listen or you watch this channel, shout out to you. I think you're like my second week customer
of pest control.
Of pest control.
Oh man, that's a story to tell from the beginning.
I jumped out of the way, no shame. I jumped out of the way, and I said, "Be free, little one. Be free.
Live.
We don't know where
you."
Like we don't know where he went. Like we looked, like me and two of the other neighbors, we were trying to follow like the direction it was running.
Yeah.
And a little bit further out, the trap was just in the middle of the road of the street. So it got away.
Got away.
Is somewhere out there now,
living his best life. It's like,
and he's listening to this podcast from inside another wall. So if you need pest control and you hear creaking, it's probably that one rat. No, it's probably that one dude that escaped death that day.
For sure. Man, pest control is a life-changing experience. I don't know, like I used to be scared of like pests too, for sure. Like spiders, cockroaches, rats, and I hated rats. But the more you do it, it's just desensitizing, and you realize it's not that hard to not have these type of pests. I guess the biggest thing to do is have a clean home. Like
that. Yeah, I mean that's what it comes down to. Is a lot of the calls that we get to, a lot of the customers, it's just a lot of it's sanitization, mm-hmm. Like just making sure you don't have food on the ground, or you don't leave your doors wide open, mm-hmm. And let things crawl in. Because I was literally at a customer's house one day and we were talking. He never had rats or mice in his house, but he was talking about possibly putting traps in his house, and we were in his garage talking. And as we were talking, this is broad daylight. This is like 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And he lives up in the hills, And as we're talking, we're both like kind of just standing, and two mice in a second ran inside his garage that was wide open.
Yeah.
He leaves his garage wide open. He because he doesn't have a whole lot of neighbors, but I guess they're all family or whatever. They leave their stuff open, And as we're talking, he's talking about putting traps out. Two mice just get right in, and then he goes, "Yeah, we're gonna need those traps. we're not gonna talk about it anymore," because he was kind of like talking about pricing, and then he's like, "Yeah, I mean, how often does that happen? Is that really?" Then it happened. He's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll pay it."
It's like, yep.
Because now,
No, for sure.
and then he's like, "Did you bring these into my house?" I was like,
listen,
"No, we're up in the hills. That's where they live."
Yeah, exactly. I think we could just be an informational podcast of pest control. It's like
we could do a whole subject on this.
It's a common sense type thing to get bugs and pests away from your home. You see a lot of cobwebs, you gotta take them down. You're gonna have a lot of spiders otherwise.
Yeah.
You have food out. Obviously, you're gonna bring some type of pest, whether it's a rat or there's
roaches.
a squirrel. It could be bigger. Sometimes it's a raccoon. We still get those out here.
Yep.
Making sure there's no holes for rats or other bugs to get into your house in the first place. A lot of people don't do an inspection of their own home, and what I tend to find is that, especially those newer homes, all those stucco homes, they're not up to par. You go to an old house, like, all right, it's getting worn down, but everything is sealed up.
It's sturdy.
It's sturdy. Those holes are cemented down, or they're really old houses compared to new houses are just a different level of service. If you have a new house, get a home inspector. You need somebody to check all these, because they're just pushing out houses now, and they're just building houses, and they're not patching the holes. They're not doing a lot of the needed work for a home to survive decades. They're building these homes out of paper mache, if I could say so.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the houses that we do, and unfortunately, like a lot of our customers, they have newer homes, but it just comes down to like, hey, yeah, don't leave your door open. Make sure you have screens on your windows, because that'll keep a lot of stuff out. Don't have your garbage cans pressed up against your windows, like near your kitchen windows or any windows around your house, because then you're going to get like maggots, you're going to get gnats, you're going to get flies, you're going to get all sorts of things, because all the rubbish is close to your house. You want to make sure it's away from the home. Anything that can attract pests, food, spoiled food, all that stuff needs to be away from the house. As far as you can get it away from the house is preferred. But yeah, pest control, guys. It is nowadays we are an essential business. During the pandemic, Nate and I worked our butts off, and we worked during that because we're essential people. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's pest control is a grimy job, but it's also you get a lot of adventures and a lot of stories out of it. Like we barely scratched the surface today because we have a way more, and we're gonna do a whole series on the pest control industry. But
podcast for all you pest control technicians out there. Like, we really appreciate you. We know how hard you guys work, and we know what it's like being in the field with you.
Yep. People talk mess about you. You don't know how to do your job, this and that. I will always say, you are the expert. You are the subject expert. You've studied on how to eliminate. There's some really, I will say, horrible techs, but majority of the technicians out there really just want to do a good job. And I've worked with a few companies, and there's some people that they study on their off time. They have licenses that you wouldn't even think exist that in order to work in pest control. But a majority of the technicians out there just want to do a good job. So don't hate on all of them. They're just, again, you're probably the 19th customer they've seen for the day, and they also do want to go home at the end of the day. So yeah, be nice. And then for you pest techs, treat your customers well.
Yeah,
because they pay the bills and they keep us coming out, and they give you a plethora. I think I'm using that word right. of stories so you could start your own podcast like we did.
For sure. The only other tip I'd have is, do your job like you're going to come back to it, because you're probably going to come back to it.
You're going to go back to that customer. Yeah, don't work for me, because if you mess up at a customer's house, or I'm sending you back to make it right. So,
for sure,
prepare yourself.
Yeah, no, that's a slew of stories in itself. The amount of times you have to go back because another tech didn't do their job. It's like, come on, Then the customer wants to have you specifically on their route. I'm like, I can't. I'd like to, but I'm sorry. It'd be nice.
They love you. They loved you, Nate. They loved you. You had like a fan base of customers that just, your name lit up our screens all the time. Man, and it was like, we want Nate to come back. But now he's not in pest control anymore. He takes care of lives.
So sorry. I remember this couple in like the Dublin Hills, like a Filipino couple, and they're like, you got to come back, please. We were about to cancel this, but your last service, it was...
hold on. You got to do it right. You got to come back, please.
Please,
talaga, you got to come back.
I don't want anybody else but you. I was like, sorry, po, I can't. You got lucky with me today. But yeah,
man, you threw po in there. That's really formal, man. That's respect right there.
Yeah, you gotta respect your elders. You gotta.
They're like 10 years younger than you. Po. Sorry, po.
Man, I'm not that old. But yeah. No.
I guess that goes toward me more.
Just treat your customers right. I mean, do your job properly, and you won't have complaints, and the next time you come back, it's gonna be even easier, right? I feel whatever job I did, I want to make sure the next technician doesn't have a hard time either. If you do a good job on the first service, the next service is gonna be easier. Then the next service is gonna be easier than that. Because you're breaking down the bug cycle. You're getting rid of cobwebs. You're getting rid of, you're replacing their traps. You're maintained like a barrier around their house. But as soon as someone doesn't do that, then, problems occur. And we get a lot of reservices.
Yeah. I'm going to say this to all you customers out there, or maybe you're thinking about having pest control. I'm not trying to sell pest control to you, but I will say, like, when you have a pest control company, give the product time to work. That's literally what the pesticide does, is it kills bugs. It will do its job. But like, give it time. Like, give it time to work. I'd say at most, give it 3 weeks. At most, give it 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And understand that, we do a lot of work with like biotech companies, big commercial companies, and I take like counts, like pest control counts. How many things are we catching every single week, every single day, every single month, and we tally it all up. And one thing I always tell the customer, and I hope you're listening to this, is that there's over 1 trillion bugs out in the wild. There's over 1 trillion. I mean, we are outnumbered by pests, whether it be crickets, spiders, ants, wasps, all these. They outnumber us. And I do these pest control counts for these big companies, these big warehouses, pharmaceutical companies, and we, before we take on the account, there's like, they're catching like 3,000 mosquitoes a day. And after we apply, and after we do our job, and after we take tally, maybe 2 to 300 a month we catch now. And the reason for that is we tell them, give it time to work. And also, we're going to monitor when we come back out. But understand that we can't stop every bug from entering your home. We're gonna take down that number like big time. Mm-hmm. But you're not gonna have things crawling on your food, crawling on your house regularly. I mean, you'll probably get I do my own house. I treat my own home, and I'll get the one or two, maybe four stragglers that they get past the barrier, and I kill them when they come in. But I'm a pest control professional, and I still get the one or two that come into the home. So don't get go crazy when you start seeing and calling your company back, going, I need this, I need you guys back because I see one. It's like there's over 1 billion outside your home, and the one got in. You better be thanking that company that they're doing a good job.
Yeah. We have to have like a realistic expectation of what service whatever service you do. No matter if it's healthcare, no matter if it's internet or pest control. You're gonna have bugs come into your house no matter what you do.
There's over 1 billion. We are outnumbered.
The amount of times I went to a customer and they had left they had left the service like months, for maybe like 3 months. We get a call back saying they want service again, because the summer salesmen come by and they're like, oh, now we realize how much bugs are actually in our home. Please, can we get, sign back up? It's like, I don't know if there's the premiums change or whatever, that's a whole other side of pest control that I won't dive into because I don't know much about it, but
yeah, everything's going up. Food's going up. We're all having a rough time, but if you have a bad pest control program, we'll probably give certain tips out on this show, but get a company to come out. I mean, it's not crazy expensive, though. They're willing to work with you, and majority of the technicians out there, again, just want to do a good job, and they actually like their job. Like 80% of my guys, they like their job because they're like, oh man, did you see this? And they'll bring bugs in and show me. They'll take pictures while they're out in the field, and we have this group chat, and they're like, check out this weird bug that I found at this customer's home. Yeah. Can you tell me what it is? Can we identify it, and how do we get rid of it? And they're actually like just asking questions, like, because they like their job and they like killing bugs. Mm-hmm. So that's all I got to say about that. But crazy adventures in the pest control industry. We're going to be sharing a lot more on other episodes. But yep. I already see Nate reaching for something. He's reaching for. What is he reaching for? I don't know what he's reaching for. Oh no! He threw up a West Side. Watch out. But yeah, that's our pest control stories.
Thank you for joining our episode today. I think it's about time we wrap up, but there's going to be many more stories from the pest control side of our lives to come. I was there for only 2 years, and I have many more that I can say and probably can't say, but
we're going to discuss this and we'll plan it out. But we just want to thank you guys if you listened to this whole episode. Thank you. This is episode 7. We're growing.
7. Ooh.
I will say the last 2 episodes before this are some of our best episodes. That we're getting better at this, guys. Mm-hmm. And if you're just joined and you're starting to listen to our podcast, go back to episode 1. And unfortunately, you're not going to find that on YouTube. You can find that on Spotify. You can find that on audio.com. But the very first episode is not on YouTube. Go listen to that one. That one's horrible. I mean, it's not horrible. We're just learning how to do all this stuff.
Okay, our first 3 episodes, we unedited, raw, just threw it out there. 5 and 6.
We did it live.
We did it live. I did a lot. I did more editing, and I had more time to edit. So,
yeah. Shout out to Nate. You're doing an awesome job. This channel, this podcast is just gonna keep growing and growing, and then eventually implode once Dan's
second channel
ultimate plan comes in. Maybe that's where he is today. Maybe he's starting that channel and he's talking mess about this one. if you see a YouTube channel out there and there's a guy wearing a luchador mask, that is the anti PanRaconTeurs channel.
Yeah, he's fighting against the power here. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out what happened to Dan today. We try to call him and all that stuff, but he should be joining us on the next episode. Also, follow us on audio.com, audio.com/Mike V2. You can hear the first episode there as well. And a lot of our episodes are still on there. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. If you're listening to this while you're driving, drive safely. Road ragers, get some ice cream. And of course, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment below whether you like, if you like daylight savings or not. I am against. I'm against. We shall rise up against daylight savings time. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Quick side note. Yeah, Spotify. I also upload the videos there too. So,
yeah, it's on there.
Yeah, you don't have to worry. If you have Spotify Premium and you want to watch our video without any ads, I mean, we don't have ads on YouTube either, but join either one, whatever floats your boat. So, Spotify or YouTube. That's all I had to say.
And the last thing is, we need sponsors. If you want to sponsor this show, you found some extra cash in your wallet, and you're like, hey, I could send a 20 to these guys. Thanks. It helps out with stuff like this and shadow puppets.
I'll be opening up a Patreon.
Whoa. Look at that. This is what your money's paying for. Woo, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm making faces on my screen here. Also pays for the lights. We want to start going on new platforms. We'll be announcing that soon. But thanks for the support. Thank you for the likes, shares, comments, and hit that subscribe button and share it with somebody. Share it with a stranger. Because in this case, there is no stranger danger. Love you guys. Have a good one. This has been the PanRaconTeurs. I'm Mike.
I'm Nate.
And Dan's somewhere out in the universe. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of the PanRaconTeurs. See ya! Bye! Woo! Cheese.